Brian Laundrie eerily shared images of skeletons covered in plants on social media months before his skeletal remains were found in a Florida swamp amid an investigation into the murder of his fiancée, Gabby Petito. A partial human skull and bones identified to belong to Laundrie, 23, were recovered from a marshy patch of land inside Myakkahatchee Creek Park, in Northport, on October 20 following a 5-week search. He vanished on September 13 after telling his parents he was going hiking in the nearby Carlton Reserve, 2 days after Gabby was reported missing by her mother in New York. The couple had been on a cross-country road trip in their repurposed van when Gabby vanished sometime around August 27. Brian returned home without her on September 1 before disappearing himself less than 2 weeks later. Gabby's remains were found at a campsite near Grand Teton National Park on September 19. An autopsy determined that she had been strangled to death between 3 to 4 weeks earlier. A cause, manner, and time of death for Brian has not yet been determined. An autopsy came back inconclusive late last month and his remains are now being examined by a forensic pathologist. While he was never officially named a suspect in Gabby's death, he is the sole person of interest in the case. As an investigation continues, sleuths have delved into Brian's social media posts in the weeks before his death in search of clues as to what may have happened between Petito and him on their ill-fated trip. Posts saved on his Pinterest page include images of skeletons, depictions of death, and other strange art that some claim foreshadowed his fate and Gabby's tragic murder. Laundrie eerily appeared to share a number of images of skeleton-shaped ornaments, covered in plants and foliage to a folder he called Things to Burn Off. Another image, this time a sketch in pen, showed a human skull close-up with a large crack visible down its forehead. Other skeletal depictions included a coffin-shaped pin badge with a ribcage, spine, and pelvis enveloped by a large green leaf, and a skull covered by a large squid. Another showed a stitch of a woman covered in leaves and holding a skull. A fourth showed skeletal hands reaching for a knife. Brian also shared dark and disturbing original artwork to his Instagram page before his death. In one post, from July 14, 2020, Laundrie uploaded a comic book-style sketch of Brad Pitt's portrayal of Tyler Durden in the movie Fight Club and quoted the character, "Only after disaster can we be resurrected. It's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. Nothing is static, everything is evolving, everything is falling apart," he emulated. Also shared on the page were original artworks depicting violence and other macabre themes. One such post, dated July 15, 2020, is captioned "Grim Reaper leading sheep to the slaughter" and shows a herd of sheep surrounded by ghoulish figures wielding scythes. Some of the reapers have been carved into mousetraps and outlined in red. A second work uploaded a week earlier shows what appears to be a man wearing a wolf mask, sitting in a chair and holding a blood-soaked knife, with red splatters up his arms and legs. Behind the subject's head is a red circle, with 3 other animal mask-wearing figures holding guns and a bat. Some of Brian's art was even listed for sale of Gabby's Depop account in the months before they embarked on their doomed cross-country adventure. For $5, she sold hand-designed bookmarks, made by Brian Laundrie, that were splat with blood. The bookmarks came in a variety of designs, some of which featured birds, penguins, and even a shadowed outline of the Marvel Comics character Hellboy, a known favorite of Laundrie's. Another of the designs, titled Chuck Palahniuk Custom, includes a stamp of 2 angels facing one another over a fountain. Overlaid on top of them is a bright pink lipstick mark. The mark is seen placed inside Palahniuk's famed novel, Fight Club, which Laundrie frequently referenced in his artwork and on his social media pages. Droplets of blood and red smudges are eerily seen splat across the book and bookmark. A second design, a black outline of a dead mockingbird, is also advertised for sale next to a copy of Palahniuk's horror satire novel Lullaby, which Gabby and Brian spoke about reading during their trip. All the items on Gabby's Depop page are listed as sold, though it's unclear when those sales were made. Specifically what happened between Gabby and Brian during their cross-country road trip is yet to be determined by investigators. Gabby's family hasn't spoken publicly since Brian's remains were found. In a statement, their attorney said they were still mourning the loss of their beautiful daughter and would issue comment when the time was right. Bryan Laundrie cops blame human error in search for Gabby Petito's fiancé after mixing up fugitive with mom Roberta.